What started as a day during which the BBC relished a dramatic coup, a documentary which gave rare insight into Her Majesty, has ended with the corporation having egg on its face. Tonight, the BBC attempted to minimise the damage and explain what happened. I asked the controller of BBC One how things could have gone so wrong.
What appeared to happen in that tape was that the Queen, unhappy with Annie Leibovitz's question, left the room quite suddenly. We had no reason to doubt that. And it was only after this launch that it was made clear to us that it hadn't happened this way. It had happened the other way around. When we did know that, we were immediately in touch with the palace. We talked to the palace last night and this morning, and as soon as possible, we put out an apology for it.
Surely it would have been somebody's responsibility to have looked at this footage and to have checked that actually this is what the documentary will convey.
Yes, of course, somebody should have said, now hang on a minute, is this what happened in the scene? Is this a fair reflection of what happened on that day? But that's what, if you like, slipped through the net here, and we're the first to acknowledge that was a mistake, which is why we've apologised for it.
Given the scrutiny broadcasters have been under in recent months, it's not surprising the BBC apology was quick in coming. And just this week, the BBC was fined for faking a competition winner on Blue Peter. Issues of audience trust are paramount, but it appears the BBC has once again taken its eye off the ball.
Broadcasters are just going to have to be a little bit more careful in future. And one issue certainly is they do an awful lot of ambitious marketing of programmes to get attention in a crowded universe. And sometimes there's a danger the marketeers might go too far and embarrass the programme makers.
This affair has been hugely embarrassing for the corporation, and today the BBC Trust asked the Director General, Mark Thompson, to give an account of the affair at next week's meeting. Razia Iqbal, BBC News.
Well, let's speak now to Nick Hyam. Nick, how damaging is all this for the BBC?
Oh, it is damaging. It's damaging because it involves the Queen. It may be even more damaging if it emerges that this disputed footage wasn't just included in this trail shown to journalists, but would have been in the finished programme. Above all, it's damaging because, as Razia Iqbal said, it undermines the BBC's reputation for trustworthiness. Viewers and listeners ought to be able to believe what they see and hear on the BBC. If they're deliberately misled, all that goes out of the window. And that's why, ahead of that meeting of the BBC Trust next week, all the BBC's most senior managers, heads of radio, television, news and the regions, they've all written to their staffs asking them if there are any other programmes broadcast since January 2005 where they think they may be a risk of someone in the audience having been misled, and if there are such programmes, to fess up now, as it were.
Nick, thanks very much.